and good morning. This is Wager Detective reporting live from Tropicana, June 2nd, 2026. We're going to get into this cap of the Padres versus the Phillies. Before we get into that, be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook for the daily Wager Detective report. I want you to know I love all my fans out there getting better with doing these caps and these breakdowns on how to cap these games and format it so it's good for the viewer. And just throw the headsets on, listen to this breakdown, and all this is providing an edge for the sports bettor when they go to make a bet on a game. So the Wager Detective report, let's get into it. Padres versus Phillies, 6:40 start time from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. All right, let's get into this cap. The Padres 3-7 in their last 10 games. They're 16-10 on the road this year. 2-0 in extra inning games. They're 7-6 in one-run games, but they're only 1-5 versus the National League East. Now, Padres are 3-6 their last 9 versus the Phillies, 2 over, 7 under. They're scoring 2.22 runs per game to 3.44 for the Phillies over their last 9 meetings. They've scored 2 runs or less 5 times and been shut out 3 times in their last 9 meetings with Philadelphia. Their last 9 at Philadelphia, they are last 10 at Philadelphia, they are 3-7, 6 over, 4 under. In their last 10 at Philly, the Padres have scored 3.8 runs per game to 5.3 for their opponent. Comes out to 9.1 runs per game average. Both of these teams have scored. The Padres have scored 4+ 6 times, and the Phillies have scored 4+ 8 times in their last 10 meetings in Philadelphia. Now, the Padres this year, road night games, they're 7-5, 4 over, 8 under. They're scoring 3.5 runs per game to 3.66 for their opponents. Comes out to 7.16 runs per game average. In their 12 road night games this year, the Padres have scored 2 or less 5 times. Their opponents have scored 2 or less 5 times as well. So, kind of a lean for the under in that one, but the last 10 at Philly coming in at 9.1 runs per game average over those 10. Now, the last 9 games for the Padres overall, 3-6, 3 over and 6 under in those games. The Padres have scored 3 runs per game to 4 runs per game for their opponents, and they've scored 2 runs or less 5 times in their last 9 games, the Padres have. Their opponents have scored 3+ 8 times in their last 9 games overall. So the Padres' last 9 only scoring 3 runs a game, and in their road night games this year only scoring 3.5. And again, their last 10 at Philly averaging 3.8 over those 10 games. So something to keep in mind there. Their bats are just not waking up. And the over-under on this game is set at 8.5. Something to keep in mind there. And the Padres are plus 110 and the Phillies are minus 130. Okay, now, the situational split in this cap is going to be the day off for the Padres, road-to-road series. Okay, they are 2-0 this year, but they're 3-2 in their last 5, dating back to last year. So when they're on a road series, they have a day off, and then they go to the next, open up the next series. They are 3-2 in their last 5, and they're 2-0 this year, 6-4 and 1-0 in those games. And over their last 5 in that situational split, they're scoring 5.2 runs per game to 4.6 for their opponents. Comes out to 9.8 runs per game average. Now, the Padres versus the National League East, they were swept by the Phillies, and they were just swept. They were almost swept by the Nationals. So 1-5 versus the NL East this year. They just saw the Phillies recently in San Diego. They were swept there. And versus the NL East this year, they're scoring 3 runs a game to 5.6. Comes out to 8.6 runs per game average. They were shut out twice versus the Phillies. So, and that was just before the National Series. So now it's going to be interesting to see. Do they come alive here? Padres not doing good. Last 9 versus the Phillies overall, 3-6. They're 3-7. Their last 10 at Philadelphia, and they're only scoring over their last 9 3 runs per game. And in road night games, they're only scoring a half run better. In 12 night games, scoring 3.5. So, but the day off situational split, again, their last 5, they're scoring 5.2. So, will we see who's on the mound for the Phillies? As you see on the screen there, Nola, this could be a bright spot for them to kind of wake up and get back on track. And again, they are 16-10 on the road this year. Play a little bit better on the road than they do at home. So, On the mound for the Padres is going to be Randy Vasquez, Randy Macho Man Vasquez. He's 2-3 in his the Padres are 2-3 in his last 5 starts, 0 over and 5 under. In the last 5 Vasquez starts, the Padres are scoring 2.2 runs per game to 2.6 for their opponents. It comes out to 4.8 runs per game average, and that leads you back to the under. When Randy pitches, they don't hit well. The Padres aren't hitting well over their last 9 games, not scoring a lot of runs. He keeps them in games, keeps the games close, but they're still 2-3 in his last 5 outings when Randy starts. So, last 5 outings, 26 2/3, 29 hits, 11 earned runs, 6 walks, 5 home runs. Comes out to a 3.72 ERA, a 1.32 whip, and he's giving up 1.69 home runs per 9 over his last 5 outings. And in his very last outing, he went against the Phillies where he gave up 3 home runs. So 5 of his home runs in his last 5 outings, 3 of them came in his last outing versus the Phillies, who he's going to see again tonight. So again, last 5 outings, 1.32 whip, 3.72 ERA, and 1.69 home runs per 9. Now, the bright spot for the Padres, when Vasquez starts on the road, the Padres are 3-1 this year, 0 over and 4 under. So in his last 5 outings overall, all 5 games went under the 8.5. In his road outings this year, the Padres 3-1, and all 4 games went under there. In his road outings, 24 2/3, 18 hits, 4 earned runs, a home run, and 3 walks. Comes out to a 1.46 ERA and a 0.85 whip. So between his last 5 and his 4 games on the road this year, massive difference in ERA and whip. As we said, last 5 outings, 1.32 whip, 3.72 ERA. 4 starts on the road that they had this year, 1.46 ERA and a 0.85 whip. So pitching much better, more focused on the road. He's going to see the team that just hit 3 home runs off of him in his last outing. So I expect there to be a better performance there. Now, if we look at what the Padres have done this year when Vasquez is on the mound, in 11-game start for Vasquez, the Padres are 8-3 on the year this year. And the trend continues, 3 over and 8 under in those games. And the last 5 outings by Vasquez, the total has gone under at 8.5. On the year, 60 1/3 innings pitched, 57 hits, 22 earned runs, comes into at a 3.28 ERA, a 1.23 whip, and he's giving up 1.19 home runs per 9 over the year. But again, the Padres 8-3 this year when Vasquez starts. So between his last 5, between his road results and the overall results for the year, there is some promise there for the Padres, especially after getting swept by the Phillies just recently. So pretty good there. And again, they are doing good in their last 5 in day off road-to-road series with a day off in between. They are 3-2 in their last 5, and they are scoring 5.2 runs per game average in that split. So some bright spots, some not some bright spots. The bright spots for the Padres, again, they're 16-10 on the road. They are good. They're 8-3 when Vasquez starts this year, and they're 3-1 when Vasquez starts on the road this year. So those are the bright spots there. But over their last 9, not a bright spot. They're only scoring 3 runs per game over their last 9 outings. But when you see who's on the mound for the Phillies in NOLA and the numbers I'll read, you might start to think that maybe, just maybe, the Padres can pick up a win here. Now, let's get to the Phillies side of this, Cap. The Phillies are 5-5 in their last 10 games, 20-10 in their last 30. They're 14-16 in home games this year, and they're dynamite in one-run games where they're 12-5. Now, the Phillies in home night games this year, they're only 8-11. So 8-11, and the Padres are 7-5 in road night games. So the Phillies 8-11 in home night games, 13 over, 6 under. The Phillies are scoring 4.32 runs per game to 5.57 for their opponents. They're being outscored 106-82 in the run differential department in their 19 home games this year. And it comes out to 9.89 runs per game average over those 19 games. Now, the Phillies in their last 9, they're 5-4, 1 over, 8 under. So another case for the under there. Last 9 for the Phillies are scoring 2.33 runs per game. They're giving up only 2.55 runs per game average. Comes out to 4.88 runs per game average. So last 9 for both these teams, Padres are scoring 3 runs per game in their last 9, and the Phillies are scoring 2.33 in their last 9 games overall. Okay, so Phillies versus the National League West. They're 11-7 this year. Okay, they swept the Padres and they swept the Giants. So something to keep in mind there. That's got to be on the Padres' mind that they just got swept by the Phillies within the last 2 weeks. So the Phillies 11-7 versus the West, scoring 3.5 runs per game, but they're giving up 3.27. Comes out to 6.77 runs per game average. In that split, the Phillies have scored 2 or less 6 times, but they've scored 5+ 4 times in those 18 games. So something to keep in mind there. And their opponents, National League West opponents, have scored 5+ 5 times in those 18 games that the Phillies have played the National League West. So situational split for the Phillies. Home game after a day off from a road trip. In that split, they are 4-2 in their last 6. 4 over, 2 under. They're scoring 5 runs per game. The 3.5 for their opponent comes out to 8.5 runs per game average. And in that split, the Phillies' opponents have been shut out twice. So if we look at that split, we said the day off for the Padres from road-to-road series, they're 3-2 in their last 5, scoring 5.2. And the Phillies, in their home, coming home after a road trip with a day off in between, they're 4-2, and they're scoring 5 runs per game, giving up 3.5 to their opponent. So pretty mixed there, pretty close in what the teams are scoring. And in that split, it does look like the over could be in play. But if you look at both these teams, that's what you have to weigh. That situational split, and then how these teams playing in their last 9 games overall. Again, the Padres only scoring 3 runs per game over their last 9, and the Phillies scoring 2.33. So let's get into who's going to be on the mound for the Phillies. And that's going to be Aaron Nola. And there's been a mixed bag with him. But one thing we can say, the Phillies are 4-1 in his last 5 outings. 3 over, 2 under. The Phillies are scoring 5.8 runs per game to 4.8 for their opponents. Comes out to 10.6 runs per game average. And in Nola's last 5, the Phillies are hitting for him. 5.8 runs per game over his last 5 average. He takes them out. Last 5 outings for Nola, 25 and a third innings pitched, 28 hits, 15 earned runs, 5 walks, and 4 home runs. Comes out to a 5.33 ERA, a 1.30 whip, and he's giving up 1.42 home runs per 9 over his last 5 outings. Now, on the year, the Phillies are 5-6 when Nola starts. 6 over, 5 under. They're scoring 4.54 runs per game average, and their opponents are scoring 5 runs per game average. So scoring runs for them still over the year-long average compared to the last 5. And the last, over the year, 11 games that Nola's pitched, the total average on the runs per game is 9.54. So on the year, on 11-game start, Nola, 56 and 2/3, 64 hits, 36 earned runs, 10 home runs, and 18 walks. Comes out to a 5.72 ERA, a 1.45 whip, and he's giving up 1.59 home runs per 9 over his year-long numbers. So between his last 5 and 11 games overall, I mean, not really looking too good for Nola and the Phillies. I mean, the ERA, 5.72 over the year, last 5, 5.33. Whip, 1.45 over the whole year, 1.30 over the last 5. And then last 9, for the whole year, 1.59 home runs per 9, but over the last 5, also 1.42. So not much discrepancy between his last 5 and his year-long totals. All I can say is the Phillies are scoring for him when he does take the mound. So, do we have a game where Vasquez has another bad game against the Phillies? Usually you give up 3 home runs against a team and then you see him again within a short period of time. They kind of got the timing down. But we got to remember here, the Phillies are coming off of a road trip here, West Coast road trip. They do have a day off, but, when you come back home, you got distractions. You got distractions there. So that's something to keep in mind going into this game. Now, the Phillies, Nola is the Phillies are 1-3 when Nola starts at home this year. 4 over, 1 under. Again, Phillies in Nola's 4-game start at home this year, they're scoring 5.25 runs per game, but their opponents are scoring 6.75 runs per game. That's a 27-21 run differential in those 4 games. Comes out to 12 runs per game average. In Nola's 4 starts at home this year, 19 2/3 innings pitched, 27 hits, 6 walks, 13 earned runs, and has given up 3 home runs. That comes out to a 5.96 ERA, a 1.24 whip, and he's giving up 1.3 home runs per 9 in his 4 starts at home this year. So whether it's his starts at home, last 5 overall, or 5 and 6 and 11 in results on the year when Nola starts, all those numbers are just a precipitous reason to kind of lean the Padres here, especially Padres going from road to road series where you're more focused, and now the Phillies coming off a West Coast trip, even though they have a day off in between, they're not looking good over their last 9 games. They're only scoring, 3, what are the Phillies scoring over their last 9? They're only scoring 2.33 runs per game average. Now you come back home, you get a little boost there. You just seen Vasquez where you touched them up for 3 home runs, but I got to think Vasquez, his year-long numbers just look better than Nola's. I expect revenge and more of a focus here pitching against them. And again, the Padres 3-1 when Vasquez starts on the road this year. 1.46 whip for him and a 1.46 ERA and a 0.85 whip. He is 0-2 when he starts versus the Phillies. It's also something to keep in mind there for Vasquez. He is 0-2 versus the Phillies. The Padres are 0-2 versus the Phillies when Vasquez starts. 10 innings pitched, 20 hits, 10 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 home runs. I mean, he has problems with the Phillies. There's no question about it, but so does Nola. So when I look at all that, it could be pause for the over because of the situational splits that we have in place there, because I don't see Nola getting any better. He just runs into trouble. And we're going to talk about the league leaders for both these teams. Batting average, there's only one player in the top 50 for either one of these teams, and that's Marsh, number 3 in baseball, batting .317. When we look at home runs, the Phillies have 2 guys in the top 20, Schwarber with 22, Harper coming in at number 19 with 13 home runs. But on the Padres side, Machado coming in at number 41 in Major League Baseball with 10 home runs. And then you got Sheets coming in at number 49 with 9 home runs. When we get to RBIs, the Phillies got 2 guys in the top 35, Schwarber at number 12 with 39 RBIs and Harper at number 34 with 34 RBIs. On the Padres side, they got 2 guys in the top 100. Machado coming in at number 56 with 30 RBIs, and Bogart's number 91 with 26 RBIs. As far as hits, the Phillies got 4 guys in the top 100: Marsh, Harper, Turner, and Schwarber. And then the Padres side, they got 2 guys in the top 100, Tatis and Bogarts, 57 and 49 respectively. Now stolen bases, both these guys got wheels on the bases. The Padres got 4 guys in the top 50 of baseball with stolen bases: Tatis, Merrill, Bogarts, and Laureano. Tatis with 14 stolen bases, Merrill with 10, Bogarts with 9, Laureano with 7. And if we look at the Phillies, they got 3 guys in the top 50. They got Turner, Stott, and Crawford, 11, 10, and 7 respectively. So both guys got wheels on the bases, but we said, it's going to be hard pressed because, again, Vasquez on the road this year, 3-1 the Padres are when he starts on the road with a 1.46 ERA and a microscopic, whip, 0.85, whereas Nola, he just gives up base runners. So that could be a thing where you're moving guys on base, and should be interesting to see. Realmuto is going to be in there, so it's hard to move and steal on him. So there's kind of, a caveat there. Now, when it comes to saves in baseball, the Padres got the second best guy in Major League Baseball. That's Mason Miller, with 17 saves. But on the Philly side, they got the number 6 guy in baseball with saves with Duran, number 12. He's been known to blow a save, though. Wager Detective had the Guardians when he came in and blew a save and the Guardians won 1-0. So he's been known to blow a save. Mason Miller, number 2 in baseball with 17 saves. So edge there for the Padres. But when it comes to batting average, team batting average, you got 2 teams that are 29 and 30th in baseball with batting average. Home runs, picks up, you got 2 teams that are in the top 20. Phillies coming in at number 9 in baseball with home runs. Padres coming in at number 17. RBIs, Phillies at number 26 in baseball. Padres at number 30, dead last. And then hits, the Padres coming in at 30th in baseball and the Phillies coming in at 29th. But I think in a game like this, Wager Detective is going to have to lean the Padres here. I'm going to call that on the money line, only because I do believe that the Padres, even though they're not playing well situationally, Bogart's just seeing the Phillies getting shelled for 3 home runs. I think he comes in a little bit more focused. And again, the Phillies, that situational angle where they're coming off a West Coast trip, they already swept the Padres. I got to think the Padres are a little bit more focused here than maybe the Phillies are. And the Phillies, again, they're 14 and 16 at home this year, whereas we said with the Padres, they are 16 and 10 on the road. So I think this situation calls for the Padres to be bet. So that's going to be the call here. Wager Detective calling the Padres plus 110 on the money line. And then if we look at the over-under, again, 8.5, I do believe this game will get over. And if it does, I do believe it'll be the Padres doing more of the damage here. And the Padres could win by 1.5 because, as we said, the Phillies in tight games and one-run games, they are 12 and 5. So it's a tough game to cap, but I think the X factor here is just Nola is just not he's just not putting up good numbers, and I don't think you could turn it around all of a sudden. And even though the Phillies hit for him when he starts, I don't necessarily know if they do here, considering, like I said, what Vasquez has done on the road this year, 3-1, and the ERA, and then also what the Padres have done with him overall this year. Again, the Padres 8-3 when Vasquez starts this year, and I do believe that this fellow is going to have a pretty decent game, even though the whip's high. ERA is only 3.28 on the whole year, and then you look at Nolan with 5.72. I'm going to go with the Padres here. I'm going to go with the over, even though both teams not hitting. I think with the high whip of these players, it's going to be a matter of can a ball go out, a ball or two go out, and we know these guys give up home runs, so I think it gets over as well. But I like the Padres a little bit more in case it doesn't. So that's Wager Detective's call here, June 2nd, 2026, calling the San Diego Padres money line plus 110, and then the secondary play over 8.5. This is Wager Detective. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and more than anything else, guys, Wager Detective loves all his fans. I'll talk to you soon.